Rutherford Issues with Bryan Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at WGNSradio.com.
And Rutherford Issues is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Don't forget their virtual annual meeting Saturday, August 16th, 2 o'clock. And you can begin this Saturday registering to say, I'm going to participate in the virtual meeting. Could win prizes if you do that. You can vote for officers, submit questions, all starting this Saturday. Find out more about the annual meeting, mte.com/annual meeting. Well, joined today by Roger Thomas. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How you doing, man?
Who is this guy you brought along with you?
I think he's got several names. What was that name he used a little earlier?
Oh, that one that we can't say on the radio?
Yeah.
Is it anonymous?
Yeah.
State Representative Eugene Mike Sparks.
McGillicuddy.
Do you know a McGillicuddy?
No, I don't. That's why I use it.
Okay.
You know. Anyways.
Well, you may have several aliases out there. So, any truth to the rumor you're running for United States Senate?
No,
Okay.
no truth at all. I see Tim Burchett's threw something out there. You know.
What about for the U.S. congressional seat?
district?
Yeah.
Who? Me?
Yeah.
Oh, Tim? Oh, no. How
No,
many
not
people?
Tim. John Rose.
John Rose.
You're going to run for his seat and move out?
No, you know, Johnny Garrett is running, and so is Van Hillary. Van Hillary's, I guess, John Rose's chief of staff.
Van
And,
Hillary?
Yeah, I mean,
Coming back?
I don't know, man. It's, you know, I mean, I know Johnny. Really, Johnny's just a very capable guy. Johnny's a great guy. He's an independent thinker, and he's willing to take a stand on his own, and not just do what somebody's telling him to do. So I like Johnny, and but a lot of folks running in that 7th district. You know, the Democrats. I'm interested in how the Democrats. Who's going to win that? You got any predictions?
Van Hillary served from 1995 to 2003 in Tennessee's 4th congressional district.
Yep.
He was succeeded by John Rose, who is now going to run for governor.
Yeah, and John's. I don't really know Mr. Rose, but seems like a great guy, very capable guy. You know, I'm partial to Marcia. You know, she was up there on the air with us a few months ago. Roger got to talk to her, and you know, I had her. She was at my first political event when I ran for office, so I appreciate that. And then Glenn Jacobs was at our chili cook-off. Been on the radio with us a couple times, and hope to have him back. Hope to have both of them back sometime soon. And you know, we had Marcia at the Steak and Shake. They said it was the best event that she ever did. A lot of her campaign staff. She paid tribute to my friend Freddie Hahn that lost his life in Iraq, and Raymond Mitchell III, who was killed by a sniper in Iraq, young 21-year-old. So, you know, those little things like that Marcia did in our community, it means a lot to me. You know,
Van, by the way, I'm just really that was, you know, in the early days of me working here.
Yeah.
So that's been 32 years ago when he was in Congress, and he ran for governor against Phil Bredesen.
Yes.
And barely lost that race for governor.
Well, you know, it's like Roger was saying, I'm going to blame it on you. I mean, Phil Bredesen, he was a popular guy. You know, he was a Democrat, but that's back when Democrats had common sense and, you know, had a fiscal responsibility and
he's doing
a lot of values.
And I think he's doing a podcast, isn't he, with Haslam?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever listened to it. You know?
Yeah.
It's interesting because, you know, Bredesen is more of a middle of the road guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're a business guy.
Yeah.
And an expert on healthcare, and so healthcare is a huge issue for almost all the 7 million Tennesseans that we have here. So,
and one area that Republicans really always seem to get knocked in the chin about.
Well, we need to improve. There's always room for improvement, Brian.
Well, how are you going to do that?
Well, want to have a discussion, you know, and I don't mean to get me on a tangent. You know, nothing against Haslam, but you know, they tried to bump me off 10 years ago, spent $150,000 against me, and I'm a forgiving guy. You know, I try to follow.
Really, you mentioned it like every time for the past 5 years.
It's post-traumatic stress disorder, you know, trauma.
I don't hold a grudge, but
I mean, in all fairness, when you see inside baseball, I mean, and you know baseball, you know sports, and you see see the sausage being made, and then you see people coming out here on a podcast, well, we're going to work together and it's room for disagreement. Well, all I did was ask for the Commissioner of Education to resign, to step down, but so did half the school superintendents across the state, and I also didn't like the JLO contract. I think it's corruption, and they probably didn't like me calling it out. But, JLL recommended tearing down the Cordell Hull building. Why would you recommend tearing down the Cordell Hull building? You know why? To get paid to build it back. And, I guess they get mad at me, call them balls and strikes and just telling the truth. But, really, you look at faith, and Roger and I talked about this. Roger lost his son a few years ago. The things that we go through in life and the battles that we have to overcome, the trials and tribulations, really build our character. And Christ talked about that. The Bible talks about that. Paul talked about it. Not that I'm not a big fan of Bill Haslam. He's okay. But, when you're a billionaire, you need to do all you can to help the 7 million Tennesseans that are having a hard time. Find solutions for affordable housing. Find solutions for health care. Don't go spend $1 million to try to bump off 10 lawmakers that use common sense to say this Commissioner of Education is clueless. He needs to go. And when you got half the school superintendents across the state of Tennessee, Brian, that sign a letter that this guy is he needs to go, I'm going to follow the lead of school superintendents. And anyways, I don't mean to get off on a tangent about that, but
you're not focused on that.
You hit a nerve.
And you let bygones be bygones. But
Jesus help me.
That was a tender spot there.
I know, but really forgiveness is really the key to life. I've been married 36 years. My dad was married 5 times, and my dad couldn't let things go. He couldn't let them. Sometimes in life, we just got to move on and work with people, whether it's local leaders or whether it's your wife or your spouse or your pastor or whoever else.
Felicia has to be a very patient, forgiving person, doesn't she?
I got a good wife, but I prayed about it. I begged the Lord when I was 19, bring me a good woman, and the Lord lined it up. I mean, he lined it up.
Anyway, I saw a Beacon poll that was out this morning
about Marcia.
Yeah, she's got a 52% lead over John Rose.
Do you believe in polls?
No.
Anyways, I like Marcia. I like John Rose too. He's just a likable guy, and likability matters in political races. I think Marcia, and I'm probably gonna get in trouble for saying this on radio, I think she's got to improve her likability. She lost my district, by the way. She lost my district, and so did Trump. So it's a miracle I'm even in office, especially saying what I say on the radio sometimes, because you do get people upset sometimes. But you look at the principles of our forefathers and what they stood for, and then you see the problems in our community. I mean, like Roger and I, housing. How are our kids going to find housing? Well, the jails are overcrowded. The fathers were broken homes. Some of these people need to start addressing those issues.
I was listening to the city held kind of a forum for the community at First Presbyterian on Monday, the city of Murfreesboro. And within that, they talked about affordable housing. And affordable housing, now get this number, it's considered $450,000.
Sad.
And less.
It's sad. Roger was telling me you built your house years ago for 69
in Blackman, 69,000 now.
Wow.
When I moved back to Smyrna, I think I doubled it, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Also in that, I think it was Mayor McFarland said that if you took West Murfreesboro, Blackman, and it was its own city, it would be the 6th or 7th largest city in the state.
Wow.
Really?
I think his anniversary today. Congratulations, Shane, on your anniversary, by the way.
But isn't that interesting that, that area saw an explosive growth. Smyrna's seeing explosive growth.
We'll end up getting a new House member in the next redistricting.
Yeah. How we all don't gerrymander that. That's a big
Why do you
word.
got to go there, Brian, and be a Debbie Downer? Why do you have to bring that up?
That's
You think that happens?
Do I think it happens? Yeah, you can see it happen.
My district looks pretty good.
Oh,
You
wait a
seen
minute.
it? Mine it looks like the yellow page where you do
Look
your
like a
finger.
snake going
No, that's another district.
okay.
That's another one. No, mine looks like two fingers like sticking out. Sometimes people make fun of it. If you pull up the map, you can imagine what you think it is. Some people, perverted people, say different things. But looks like the bell. Remember the old Bell South book, telephone book. Your fingers walking.
I don't know.
Anyways,
Oh, yeah,
telephone
let
book
your
is.
fingers do the walk.
Yeah,
the
look,
yellow
to me
pages.
that's what it reminds me of. But anyways,
No, it's been in the news about Texas and what's
it's kind
happening
of
there.
it's comical in a way. Well, it's sad but comical.
Yeah, I think the biggest gripe that I have is it is the second time that they've done it since the census.
Yeah, look
They've
at
already done
Illinois
it,
though.
and they've done it. Well, I mean, I know that.
Yeah.
But Tennessee's gerrymandered.
Well,
Nashville's broken up into 3 different districts. So, I mean,
Go
but
ahead.
my
go
point
ahead.
about that is, I think the biggest gripe is that it's happened already after the 2020 census, and this is the second time.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's the biggest concern out of all that.
Well, you shouldn't leave the state and go to Illinois. I mean,
But
that's
would you do
derelict
that?
of duty. No, I mean, I'm not going to go like California, and whine about it. Just do your job. I mean, there's times I don't like voting on stuff, and you may think it's like I called that one bill the ugliest bill I ever seen. Ticked off a whole lot of people. And I'm glad they got ticked off because they're guilty of it. And it's a bad bill. The media's not going to tell you about it, but you get upset in politics. You don't always get what you want. And that was hard, man, back in the day. I remember Nancy Allen told me, she said, man, you got to learn to pick your battles. I was arguing with Truman Jones, and I said, but there's so many things they'd be fought for. Here I was younger and more energetic, and she said, yes, but you got to slow down and pick your battles. And that's true. You have to pick which ones. Can you really make a difference? Because you can't be Don Quixote and fighting everything. And it's just...
have you told that to Justin Jones?
Well, I have told that to Justin because he asked me if I was going to vote to expel him. I was like, Justin, if you can't calm down, man, you keep violating all these rules, I'm going to be forced to. And I get along with Justin. I mean, some people don't get along with him, but I treat him with kindness. I treat him with respect. But what worries me as a leader in this community is where this nation's going. And if that don't break your heart, because people got to work together. And I see all these egos and personalities, and the Bible says pride comes before a fall. And if this country doesn't get rid of the pride and arrogance and egos, it worries me where this country's at. I mean, do you feel that way? You got grandkids.
Oh, yeah, and great.
And Brian's got grandkids.
And great grandkids.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, just
Well, that's what I like about this show.
There's no
the
middle
good
ground.
neighbor station.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, everyone has opinions, but I think when you drill down to the local level, I like seeing what the city of Murfreesboro did. Had a forum, several hundred people came to the church, heard what's been going on. Their concerns
who
were heard.
initially organized that? Do you know?
It was the city council, I think.
Oh, okay. Congratulations to them for doing
that.
it. Yeah.
They've done some various ones in the community, and Bill Shacklet spoke. I mean, you've got different political affiliations on the council,
and you can't help but like Bill. I mean, he's such a his sister's one that got me coming up here. It's her fault. Yeah. Gloria.
Oh well, I'll have a talking with her. But
lashing.
But where else can you go? There was one person, I know who they are, and I won't mention who they are, but they live in the downtown area and we're concerned about the homeless, and they actually they live here. They have a home in the downtown area, and say it's not uncommon to see someone just defecate right in front of their house in the street.
Yeah.
And so that's a serious problem but just seeing everybody come together and talk about it, and it wasn't just a screaming match.
See, Nashville, it's hard to do that in Nashville when you've got people holding up KKK signs and cussing you, and that's hard to do. You know, some nasty people up there. I'm all about the First Amendment and let your voice be heard. But when you got people that are like literally almost spitting at you and cussing in front of little kids, people don't see the back because the media doesn't show you that part. They just show you a different. It's called agenda setting theory, by the way.
You've got a camera.
Oh, I have made the video, and I think you've seen the little spoof I did, and I think I played the Biscuit song with it. And I mean, it was.
Well, we don't need a spoof, but just show the video.
I know.
As you're walking out. Here's what I walk out to.
That's a good thing about a church setting.
Yeah.
Is that most people, not all. It's a different world today now.
Well, sure.
That phone really ramps it up because some people want to be there. They want to be showing like, hey, look at me, and you know, and being nasty. And that's what's sad. But most church settings, I mean, we had the town hall at my church, Parkway, about the mental health and opioid, and it was well attended, about 120 people. We had both school superintendents, elected officials there, and we had great discussion about solutions. And what came out of that meeting, by the way, because I had some that was kind of negative. You always got a Debbie Downer, and like, well, what good come out of that? Here's what come out of that meeting. I said to the late Linda Gilbert, and I like Linda, and 50-year educator, knew more about education than any lawmaker in the state of Tennessee. That's a fact. Anybody wants to debate it, they can debate it with me. But I asked her, I said, what's the silver bullet with this issue? What's the silver bullet talking about childhood behavior and the problems? She said, Mike, the behaviors of the 6 to 9 year olds are like something I've never seen before. They're disorderly, disruptive. She said, whereas the state is trying to help, a lot of times there's nowhere for those kids to go and be assessed. And she said, we need more counselors, more social workers, more therapists to try to reach these kids. That's not me saying it. I'm not an expert. That's Linda Gilbert, a 50-year educator who was a mentor for teachers, who was an instructor for teachers. And then people would maybe, we don't need that. And people that don't have a clue about education want to condemn it or want to be critical. But that's what her, and then she passed, 2-3 weeks later after she sent me that email, and Scott Broden did publish it about a year or two ago, and y'all have always, published that letter she sent me, but that's what came out of that discussion, was that, and that passed, led to legislation, led to more funding. That letter, everybody in the General Assembly has heard that letter, by the way, or at least on the House side, because I've shared it probably 5 to 6 times. So her memories lived on. She's still making a difference with that letter she sent me.
Yeah, very, and
there's a nice image of her on WGNS, by the way. With the microphone. Linda, she's a sweet lady.
So, no cell phones this year. You've made a lot of kids, man. The thing about it is, Rutherford County was already doing a lot of those things. I heard Dr. Sullivan talk about that, and he said that's not going to be a huge change for us here. But there are some school districts, it's all different, but I don't think it was a big change here.
I had one of your guys who was a young man that was a producer about 3 years ago. Good young, always wore the little ski hat. Even though
Zach,
love Zach. I asked Zach, we were talking about mental health. I said, man, what's the difference?
You say he wore a ski mask, but it was
ski hat.
Toboggan.
Toboggan, whatever it's called. I mean, I'm not going to wear toboggan in the summertime. It's just anyways, but I guess that's their thing. But I asked him, I said, man, let me ask you something as a young man. I said, I see you and I see a few other people your age. I said, why are you so different? And he said, you know what? And you know what he said? He said, I never got a smartphone until I turned 18. He said, these other people, I know those people. They got a smartphone when they're like 15. He said, I think the phone has affected how you look at life. I mean, I'll be over, I was telling you, I'll be over at Crunch Fitness, and those people don't even communicate with each other. And I had a guy said hello to me the other day, and which shocked me because most people don't even talk. Today, people don't really, it's different than when we were growing up. We had conversations and all, but that's something that young man told me that I think has a lot of truth to it.
Do you have a smartphone?
Yeah, I finally upgraded after you made fun of me for years. I went from that Android A32 to...
Well, the phone is only as smart as its user.
I like this a bad boy, by the way. I zoomed in the other day, man. I almost got that Android, the one that does 100 zoom. Mm-hmm. And people are like, why do you need the 100 zoom? I thought it'd be neat.
Well, if you see something on the side of the road, like an old couch or something, you see what condition it's in. If you're going to go back and pick it up,
Let's don't talk about free couches.
Okay.
Anyways,
or couches on the side of the road.
yes.
Smyrna seems to be a nice place to do that.
I know. Well, I run legislation that now the judge can make you pick trash up, and it's a serious
$500 fine the guys I had to deal with.
Yeah, it's based on cubic feet now, and shout out to the county who's being very, enforcing this a lot more.
So we had to buy a tape measure for every sheriff's deputy.
Got there, measure it. But it does say, there's a nice couch in front of, down the road from you, at the Chicken Pike right there. Chicken Pike and Old Nashville Highway. Remember, that was about a year or two ago.
Yeah, but you just would have kept bringing it up and go by there. It wasn't.
David Gammon finally went out there. He got tired of me posting on Facebook.
There was one on 24 for like a month and a half.
There was one on. There was what was that really nice recliner? What do they call Lazy Boys? And Charlie Baum, of all people, Dr. Charlie Baum. Charlie and I, our personalities are totally different. He's a great guy. I like him, and he brought up to T-Day. He said, Commissioner, there's this Lazy Boy recliner been sitting on Bell Road, I-24 for 2 months, and at the next, I think within hours it was gone. But I was like, "Yes, you go, Charlie. You tell it like it is."
You passed it you sit out there, watch traffic in the median.
Some of the things you see on the side, there's a lot of mattresses on the side of the road.
Yeah,
wonder why.
I think some of it flies out when people are.
Putting them on their little four-door Mazda.
If it's just one, but if you see that along with some other items, all of it. Yeah.
Well, then the county takes mattresses. That's what kills me. Why do people want to set mattresses on the side of the road when the convenience center will take them?
On that, maybe they don't have access to a truck or trailer, or somebody loans one and they go, it might be closed, and they get kind of ticked and maybe kick it off. Who knows?
We're seeing a lot more electronics that are being disposed of that way, and that's because there is a cost for that.
Yes, that is an issue. You're right.
Well, I guess we've solved just about everything we can today.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to Charles Moses at the convenience center. He sadly got hit, broke both legs over at Smyrna Weekly Lane Center. I always like Charles. He's my understanding he's at Stonecrest Hospital. It skinned him up.
Got hit. I've got 30 seconds.
You got hit at Weekly Lane.
Yeah. Hey, we got the barbecue fest going on downtown Smyrna this week. You'll have a lot of vendors, live music. Everything's free. So Saturday night from 6 to 9, come out and join us. You'll have a blast, and we thank you for showing up.
Where's it at now?
Downtown Smyrna at the Depot District.
Okay, very good. Mike talked too long.
I'm sorry.
It is. Gosh. So leave me that information, and we'll be sure to share it. That's going to do it here for Rutherford Issues. Here from WGNS today. Have a good one.
Jennings and Ayers Funeral Home has served Murfreesboro families with compassion and care since 1880.